Thank you, Ahara-san, and good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Welcome you here. We have an exciting agenda ahead with a number of talks about open source AI, its utility, its impact, and implications in society. I'm going to give a short address to open things up here, along with my colleague Christopher, who will join me in just a few minutes. We're actually just wrapping up a hands-on workshop on one of the new projects from the AI Alliance called well, there's two projects, Open DXA and Dana. They're nested. So we had about 50 developers here for about the last 2 hours doing that. And it's an example of an open source project that's trying to advance the state of the field, in particular, in applications of industrial AI, agents for industrial AI. And we'll tell you much more about that in just a moment. Now, that is a reminder of what we probably already all know, but is useful to emphasize that at the end of the day, we would like AI to do things, to solve problems, to apply to problems and applications that matter for our businesses, that matter for society, for government purposes, for individual purposes. And to make that happen, to make that reality, requires a lot of things. Various different people, various different stakeholders and organizations, technology that is beyond just core AI technology, but involves the data, the knowledge, the subject matter expertise, the requirements, the governance that creates the entire solution, something that's effective. Now, there are a lot of frontiers of AI today. I list a number of them here. And if you think about some of these, like domain specificity, evaluation, not just of the model, but of a system, of an application. Reasoning and what reasoning means and how it's tied to human interaction, human agent interaction. These are problems that are not purely technical, and they're not purely engineering or purely research problems. They need to bring together a variety of people from a variety of places, but also in a focused way, right? In a way that you're trying to engage to solve the challenge. So open source is a great medium to do that. And what the Alliance is trying to do is collaboratively solve some of these problems that represent blockers, represent opportunities, but importantly are going to help raise all ships, right? It's like a rising tide, raising all ships here, whether they be business, whether they be individuals, whether they be government. Now, in particular, open source AI has already proven a very powerful enabler. Actually, well beyond AI, well before AI, open source software development has been a very powerful enabler of business and of society, and has enabled opportunity of access, opportunity to develop and to shape technology. And it's just as important, if not more so, in the AI space. Open source AI is driving innovation. Open models are roughly equivalent in capability, plus or minus a bit, to proprietary models. Now, the systems that wrap those models, all the details of implementation are very important. But at the models themselves, open innovation has really moved very, very quickly, especially in the last 12 to 18 months. One example of this is the DeepSeek model development and the work around that. Now, one lens here is to look at not just the nature of the capability created, but how it was created. This is a plot of, if you look at the original paper when the model was released, this is the citations versus year. And this is an example that replicates many, that almost all of the work cited for that work happened within about a year of that work, right? So what that means is the pace of the field, all the seminal advances are happening month by month. They're happening incredibly fast. And largely a product of open science, of open research, of open source collaboration. In terms of value creation, open source, just like it has demonstrated the ability in software to create and to enhance value, it's doing the same in AI. Enterprises, broader stakeholders are embracing open source in AI. Developers, just like developers have often embraced open source as the starting point and preferred basis for building, just like that in the past, the same trends are holding true in AI. And some of the leading AI projects in the open source grow explosively. Llama, a prominent open model project, has been downloaded more than 1 billion times. There are projects that have, in a matter of months, gone from nowhere to being something that everyone builds with. Now, at the end of the day, open source is about tech development. It's about bringing people together. But it's also about fundamentally enabling the freedom and sovereignty for individuals and organizations to build, to develop, to use technology, AI technology, as they see fit. So open source is a fundamental enabler of what we call sovereign AI, which is going to be a key theme today and a key part of the announcement that the Alliance is making, which I'll tell you more about in just a second. Open source is about bringing communities together. And the AI Alliance, first and foremost, is a community of many people from many places that have come together to do technology projects, to have events, to educate, to advocate. Now, there's lots of innovation. There's lots of activity in open source and AI. But the fundamental premise behind the AI Alliance is that this can be better together, right? That bringing people and organizations together in an organized fashion, but a very lightweight grassroots fashion, would lead to better outcomes, especially bringing people and diverse stakeholders together. So that was one of the founding premises behind launching the AI Alliance about 1.5 years ago. It was originally co-founded by IBM, Meta, and a few others, including Idematic, who you'll hear from in just a moment. This has become a key driver of the AI Alliance. It's grown to be more than 180 members from 29 countries, organizational members, that is. There's thousands of individuals involved. And that we expect to continue to grow. The mission of the Alliance is to support and then directly undertake open source AI projects and related enabling activity. Many times that comes in the form of supporting and amplifying a project that was founded by or is run by an individual organization. And sometimes that means coming together to create new projects from scratch. And that is done within the fabric of the Alliance governance structure. The Alliance just transitioned and made an important advancement. Last week, we announced that the Alliance was incorporating into 2 nonprofit entities. So whereas previously it was a fairly loose association, we've now created 2 nonprofit entities to provide the basis of scaling the work of the Alliance. The program, I'll go through this briefly. There's a lot we can say about this. The program is structured around 6 focus areas of work. They span enabling activities that include education, skills development, policy and advocacy work, and then a set of core technical areas where there are projects that the community is pursuing. They include in areas of safety and evaluation, and new tools and reference architectures for applying AI, especially by domain. Projects intended to help support the scaling of AI, and then model and data set projects, and in particular projects there that are aimed at bringing together new types of data that are relevant for applying AI to new domains and modalities. So there's 2 things that we're announcing today, and you're going to hear more about. One right away, and the other kind of over the course of a set of talks in the next couple of hours. So the first announcement is a project, or a project, kind of 2 projects nested closely together called Open DXA and Dana. Now you're going to hear more about this from the founder, Christopher, but this is a project that seeks to use AI not just as a source to create code or a source to create assistant where the code runs on kind of normal infrastructure, normal runtime, but this is actually a project that can integrate AI capability itself into the language and the runtime of the program. So you're going to hear a bit more about this in just a moment. And then very importantly as well, we're announcing AIA Japan, which is an effort here to have a locally governed set of organizations and projects that pursue 2 themes: sovereign AI and industrial AI. Sovereign AI in support of Japan regionally specific concerns, especially data evaluation and kind of culturally and language specific concerns. And then industrial AI, which is about bringing companies and collaborators together to build better building blocks in the open source to apply AI to sophisticated domains like manufacturing, semiconductor development, materials development, and so on. So with that, let me turn it over to Christopher, who will tell you more about Dana and DXA. And then we have an exciting lineup of speakers today. So again, welcome. And it's great to have you. And I look forward to the rest of the day and to meeting all of you in person after the talks. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. I have negative 1 minute, so I will I will respect that time. Particularly, I know there are panelists that need to leave before 3, but I'm very glad to see faces in the afternoon that I did not see in the morning. So I will reserve the opportunity to talk more about this exciting Open DXA Dana during my talk, slated for maybe an hour from now. I do want to take the next 30 seconds, the opportunity that we always often forget, which is I want to thank the organizing team. They've been working on this round the clock for the last 3 months. And then also the great team at Meta, having come on the site, I realized how much work is going on behind the scenes, how many staff that have to be there just to enable the 100 of us to be roaming around this building. So I will end with that. Maybe we give everybody who's organizing this a round of applause, and then we'll go into the program proper. Thank you.
Thank you so much.